Welcome to Realignment Yoga for golfers and for everyone. So today the props that we're going to need is, again, you're going to need some sort of chair or ottoman or something that you can put your legs up onto. And then you're going to need, because it's for golfers, a golf club, or if you're not a golfer, then some sort of stick that you can use later. We'll get into that later. So just coming down into static back to start the class off. Making sure that as you come down into this, that your hips are bent at 90 degrees, your knees are bent at 90 degrees, and that your feet, your knees, and your hip bones are all in alignment, which means you've got a little bit wider than maybe a fist width between your knees, and then the same distance is between your toes. So we're just going to lie here and let everything settle. Upper body is totally relaxed on this. Arms can be out to your side, palms facing up if that feels good, and if that doesn't feel good, they can just relax softly on your belly. So just letting your body settle, breathing, just letting each part of your body relax, so your eyes are relaxed, letting your face relax, just making sure that there's no tension in your jaw. Your neck feels long. Your shoulders feel like they're relaxing down and away from your ears. Arms and hands are relaxed. Palms facing up to open up the shoulders. And then just notice as you're lying there how your shoulder blades feel, whether it feels like they are even on the floor. And then notice how much tension you've got in your low back today. And you're just trying to let that tension go as you lie here. So the hip crease area, making sure there's no tension there so it doesn't feel like your legs are trying to grip and hold your legs up in any way. Your legs are just totally relaxed. And then the muscles running down the fronts of your legs are relaxed, as are the muscles running down the insides of the legs and the outsides of the legs. Just focusing on your breath. Just letting everything settle.
Okay.
So today, this class, I've titled it For Golfers, and we're going to work on some things as it relates to the golf swing, but really the things that we relate on are all alignment type of things, which are good for everybody. So whatever sport you're doing, or maybe it's just the sport of life that you're participating in, this will all pertain to you. So just noticing if the body has managed to settle at all in this. It might or might not have. Whether maybe if your shoulder blades didn't feel even, they feel a little bit more even right now. And again, they might not. And you want to notice too how your neck feels. So if you don't like lying on your back, and with your head just flat on the ground, then feel free to elevate it with something like a pillow or a towel. Maybe that feels better for you. Over time, we would like to be able to lie flat on the floor without anything under your neck, but if it causes you discomfort, then you should find a position with your head being in a place that it doesn't cause you discomfort. So we're just going to take one more breath here. And then you're going to take your legs off your blocks, coming into a position where your feet are on the floor and your knees are bent. And again, you want a little bit of space in between your knees, so it's about a fist width apart, and your feet are the same. And then you want to try to feel like your feet are pointing straight ahead, which is going to feel like they're a little bit pigeon-toed. You're going to take your hands, you're going to clasp them in front of your chest, and then you're just going to pull those arms from side to side. So just back and forth, and as you pull over to the left, that right shoulder lifts a little bit, and you pull to the right, the left shoulder lifts. So just upper or lower body stays on the ground. We're just trying to push so those shoulder blades feel like they're going a little bit wider as you go from side to side. Do one more side to side. And then those hands come back to center. And now you're taking those arms and you're bringing them back over, above your head and forward. So you try to keep your elbows perfectly straight in this. If I bend my elbows, then I might be able to touch the floor. But that's not the purpose on this. You just want to take whatever range of motion that you've got and just get your shoulders moving in this range of motion. So we're working the shoulder blades on this, trying to get them to move in the way that they're meant to move. Do one more here. And then come back to here, and we're going to go those side to side pulls again. So pulling from right to left. Lower body stays on the floor. Upper body, that right shoulder lifts as you pull to the left, and the left shoulder lifts as you pull to the right. Just getting a little bit of extension through the upper back on this. Doing one more each way. And then bringing it back to center and taking those arms and going back behind you again. So just back and forth. So make sure as those arms go back behind you, you don't let those ribs pop up and the back have a real big arch in it. You want that back to stay in that neutral position. And again, you're just trying to take the arms in whatever range of motion you have. So maybe over time the range of motion increases, but you're not trying to force it in any way. Do one more of these overheads, and then we're going to pull the side to side. So back and forth again, side to side on this. Making sure you're breathing. Doing one more side to side. Arms come back to center. And then you're doing pullovers again. So now it goes back behind you. Make sure you're breathing. Make sure those bottom ribs aren't popping up as the hands go overhead. Making sure those elbows try to stay straight. And you're breathing. Do two more. And then bring those hands down by your side, the palms could face up. We're going to do glute contractions, so we're going to squeeze those bum cheeks together. So it's just squeeze them together and relax. Squeeze and relax. So as you're doing that, you're trying to just let the bum muscles work on this. You're trying not to let the legs work or the stomach work. You're just squeezing and releasing the bum cheeks. So big muscles, the bum muscles are big muscles. We're trying to get them activated and working. They're so important for walking, and they're so important for the golf swing. So doing a couple more here, and then take a breath, and let's do another set of 20. So squeeze for 1, 2, no stomach muscles, 3, 4, no leg muscles, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Take a breath here. We're going to do one more set of 20, so you're going to squeeze and release for 1, 2, 3. So keep going for 20. So you just want to notice too, as you ask those bum muscles to fire, do they fire at the same time? And does it feel like they're firing with equal strength? And so we would like symmetry in the body. The body would keep equal on both sides, so just something to take notice of. Doing a couple more, and then coming back, and then however you can, come up to standing. You're going to take your chair, and we're going to go to the wall with this. So coming over to the wall, standing, so my left foot is against the heels against the wall, and my right foot is up on my chair or my block. So I want to look down at that left foot, and I want to see that the outsides of the foot is straight. So again, if I drew a line in between the second and third toe in the middle of my ankle, that foot would be straight. And so we're just hanging out here. We're going to hang out here for about 3 minutes. So you want to notice too, do my hips feel like they are even? So we don't want one hip higher than the other. And we're just trying to be straight. So we're using the wall to tell us what straight should feel like. And then we are trying to be in this position. And this leg, the straight leg is working hard on this. But the wall is telling us what straight is. So now we've got all the muscles on this straight leg loaded and working to be straight. So that we're working these hip mobilizers or hip stability muscles in here. And so you just want to notice as you're here, does it feel like they get tired very quickly? And so you also want to just really make sure that that foot is not in with everted or duck footed. You want to make sure that that foot is straight. So if I go to my favorite duck foot position, I'm quite strong in that position and I can stand like this for quite a while and nothing bothers me. But if I make my foot go straight, especially on my one side, then this hip tires very quickly. So we're doing this in order to provide some stability into these hip muscles. So really important for life, also really important for the golf swing. So just standing here. So we're about halfway done on this side. And you just want to notice how things are feeling for you. So today we are looking at working some shoulders, we're looking at working hip stability, and we're looking at some foot and ankle function, mobility, that type of thing on there. So all those three things, real important for the golf swing. Again, real important for life. So one more minute here. Again, you just really want to noticing how does it feel on this leg standing here. Making sure you're breathing. So if you watched the second realignment video, we did an exercise similar to this, except we were lying down. So the lying down version of this supine groin position feels quite lovely for most of us. This one, although it doesn't look like I'm doing much, the muscles are working hard in this and it can be quite tiring. So if it feels like 3 minutes is too much and you need to come out of it, then feel free to do that, and perhaps over time you can get a little bit stronger and stay here longer. So we're going to take one more breath here. We're going to come down and we're going to switch legs. So now my right foot, the heel's against the wall, the outside of the foot is straight, and now my left foot comes up so that my knee or my hip is bent at 90 degrees, my knee is bent at 90 degrees, and I'm just coming into this standing position, checking to make sure that my hips are straight, that one hip isn't higher than the other. Everything's trying to be strong, and you're breathing. So this for me is the side that tires very quickly, and it's really important that you want to start paying attention to the differences from side to side. So if, when you were standing on your left foot, if that didn't feel too bad and this starts to burn very quickly, then there is some disparity in your body, and you want to try to work to try to get the body so that it is equal. That's the goal. So we are at about 1 minute here. Again, just really noticing how the body feels here. So the stronger that we can have our hip muscles, the more stable we are in the golf swing. And so we'll do some other exercises too, but it's really, the more stable our hips can be, the hips can stay relatively stable as we move through our golf swing, and they don't either sway or slide as we go into either our backswing or as we go through our follow through. So just a great exercise to help strengthen the hips. We're about halfway. We've got another minute and a half. Just noticing how long 3 minutes is. So the whole series of exercises that we're going to be doing today, I mean,
we could be not golfing for a while. And so this could be what you do to prepare for your golf swing. And the straighter that we can get our body, the more even we can get our body, then the more symmetrical the golf swing becomes. The more symmetrical the golf swing becomes, the less chances of us getting hurt, the easier it is for us to come around and get the club of the face of the club square. All these things really important. Got about 30 more seconds here. Again, just really noticing how that feels on the hips, how tired they are. Just so you know, this hip is screaming at me. Take one more breath here. Coming down. Might want to shake it out a little bit. Walk back and forth. Things feel a little bit normal. And then just come to a standing position. So we want to stand with our feet, pelvis width apart. So my hip bones, my feet are right under those hip bones, and I'm trying to get the outsides of my feet straight so that they're not ducked out. They're looking like they're straight. Now take your hands, we call this a golf grip, and so the pads of the fingers go to the pads of the knuckles. And we're taking our arms out. The thumbs point forward. We're going to lightly squeeze those shoulder blades together, and we're taking the circles and going, little circles going forward. So for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. Bring your hands down. You're going to clasp them in front of you. You're going to push down so the palms face down towards the floor, and then those hands come up overhead and you're looking up. So this is a nice extension, a nice stretch. If shoulders bother you, then don't take your hands up as high. But if you can, you're just up here, breathing. Try not to let the shoulders creep up to your ears. Keep your shoulders down. Notice where the weight is. The weight should be even on the balls of your feet and your heels. Taking one more breath here, coming all the way down. Go back into that golf grip, pads of the fingers to the knuckles. Take the arms up. The shoulder blades are squeezing together. Now take your thumbs and point them backwards. So now the circles go backwards. So going backwards, little tiny circles. Those shoulder blades are squeezing together for 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, and 40. Bring your hands down, clasp it in, maybe clasp the other way, change your finger position, push down, hands go up overhead into this overhead extension. If it feels all right for your neck, you can look up, but you don't have to. And remember, if shoulders are bothering you, then don't take it into pain. Taking one more breath here, and then coming all the way down. Good. Go back to the wall. You're going to stand against the wall. So stand with your feet straight. We're going to lift up. These are, they're called toe raises. So we lift up our heels. So you're lifting up and down. So you want to try to lift up as high as you can, keeping those feet straight and against the wall so that you're taking momentum out of there. So we're going to lift up for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Take your hands back to those golf grips here. Knuckles go to the temples. These are elbow curls. You're bringing elbows in and out. So we're doing the toe raises, so we're lifting up our heels as a way to bring some strength and stability into the ankles. And then we're doing these elbow curls to get the shoulder blades to try and move in the way that they're meant to move. So making sure you're breathing. Let's do 5 more here. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. So now take your feet, and now you're going to duck them out. So the toes are out, heels are in. We're going to lift up those
heels again, so toe raises, lift up for 1, 2, 3, as high as you can, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. Take your feet back into a straight position. Go back into that golf grip. Knuckles up to your temples, those elbow curls again. Back and forth for 2, 3, wrist stay straight, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good, arms come down. Now you're going to take your feet into pigeon toes. So toes together, heels out. So toes together, heels out, and now we're lifting up again. Lift up for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good, walk out that, shake out the calves a little bit. And then we're going to do a little bit of balance. We're going to work again a little bit on hip stability on this. So the weight goes into the left foot, and you're hinging at the hip here, and the arms come out to the side. So this is like an airplane, and then you're just trying to little twist from right to left on this. So again, we're working those hip stabilizers, trying to get them so they are working, keeping us stable, and we're also working on balance. Doing one more. Good, coming back down, and then switching over to the other side. So the weight goes onto the right foot, left foot goes back, you're hinging at the hips here, arms are going out to the side, and then it's a little bit of rotation. Oh, balance will be different on different days and on different sides. So just working on this, making sure you're breathing. Doing one more each way. So this hip stability is what we're looking on. So when we're on our backswing, we don't have a lot of slide going here, and when we do our follow through, or a sway back here, and then a slide here, we don't want that going on. We want it to be fairly stable, and that's why we work on that. So then we're going to come down onto hands and knees. So your hands stacked underneath your shoulders, your knees are stacked underneath your hips, cats and dogs. So you start with the tail, so the tail tucks under, the low back rounds, the shoulder blades come apart, the head drops, you're an angry cat, and then your tail lifts, your belly drops, your shoulder blades squeeze together, and your head comes up. So just going back and forth. So we're looking for range of motion in the spine. So really important to have good range of motion in the spine. Making sure you're breathing. So do one more angry cat. Really be an angry, angry cat. And then come back to a neutral position. And then come up onto high heels. So again, then we're going to work some hip stability on here. Stepping your right foot forward. So make sure that you've got, if this bothers your knees, you're going to put a pillow or something under your knee to help with that. But you also want to have a little bit of weight on that back foot. So either on the top of the foot, or maybe it feels better for you to tuck that toe under, spinning position. And then you're coming forward into this sort of half kneeling stretch. So there's a little bit of balance here, and that balance thing, those hip flexors are working to keep us balanced. And then we've got a nice stretch going here through the front. So just hanging out here, making sure you're breathing. So when we've got lack of range of motion in the pelvis and the spine, it can often result in injury. And so we really want to keep that spine mobile and working like it's supposed to be working. Taking one more breath here, coming back,
and then switching over to the other side, back, and then coming forward in the half kneeling stretch on this side. Again, right, if your knee bothers you, make sure you've got a pillow or something underneath your knee. Make sure there's a little bit of weight on that back foot to help with this. Just getting a real nice stretch through here, but there's also a little bit of balance involved. Making sure you're breathing. We're also going to be working a little bit on some rounded shoulders. So rounded shoulders in the golf swing makes it hard for us to do this motion here. So we're going to work on that. Taking one more breath here, coming back up, and then making your way down onto your stomach. So you're on your stomach, your toes are pigeon-toed, so toes are together, heels are out to the side. And then you're trying to get your elbows underneath your shoulders, coming up into this little bit of a back bend. So this is cobra. And then if that feels all right, then thumbs can point up and even rolling it out to the outsides. Elbows can be wider than your, hands can be wider than your elbows. The shoulder blades collapse together. Head just looks straight ahead. So again, working a little bit on spinal mobility here. And you don't want to go into pain on this. And so if this feels too much for you, then maybe the hands go out to lower that back bend. Just making sure you're breathing. Taking one more breath here. Coming down. So hand over hand, forehead on your hands. This can help release low back. If it feels like it's not releasing low back, then you're bending your knees. We bring it back and forth. Take one more breath. And then coming onto hands and knees. And either going into downward dog or child's pose. So child's pose, either pushing back here, or if you're going into downward dog, you're lifting up your knees, pushing your bum back towards your heels, and then coming up into downward dog. So looking for some strength in the shoulders on this. And if shoulder strength isn't good for you and this hurts you, then just go back into child's pose, resting here. Making sure if you're in downward dog, you're looking straight back behind you. And your shoulders aren't creeping up towards your ears. Taking one more breath here. And then coming down onto your hands and knees. So we're going to work a little bit with planks today. So I love planks because they're such a great strengthening exercise for us. I'm going to give you lots of options for planks. So the first one is a front plank. So you're down here, your elbows are underneath your shoulders. And again, those thumbs are pointing up. So the options are, maybe you just lift up your stomach, and maybe that's your plank. Shoulder blades feel like they're sort of coming apart on this a little bit, so they're wide. Maybe you can come up to your knees and hold here. And maybe you can come up all the way. So taking a version of whatever plank is going to be good for you today, coming up and holding. So holding, those shoulder blades feel like they are pushing away from each other, and you're breathing and holding. Shaking is perfect. And making sure you're breathing. So we're trying to hold it for about 30 seconds. If that feels too long, then you're coming down and maybe coming back up and joining us. Taking one more breath here, coming down, rolling over on to a seated position. Legs are out, feet are wide, hands are behind you. So hands are behind you so that those pelvis can roll a little bit forward. You've got a nice arch in the low back, and now the feet are flexed, and you're going internal, external rotations of the legs. So internal, external rotation is important. It's a movement that we have when we walk, it's a subtle movement, but we should be able to do this. Doing one more. Perfect. And now we're going into side plank. Side plank, I think, is harder than front plank. So the options here, again, this elbow is directly underneath the shoulder, thumb points up, and then your options are maybe you just lift up your bum, maybe one leg is straight, one leg is in front, or maybe you lift right from your toes. So just coming up whenever it's convenient for you into side plank. So shoulder is working hard on this, and you are breathing. The body is straight and strong. So it's a great strength exercise. These series of planks that we're doing today, great thing to incorporate into what I need to do every day. Taking one more breath here, coming down, and then switching over to the other side. Again, finding out whatever your version of plank is on this, either right from the feet or from your knees, coming up when it feels good for you, and you're breathing. So I think if you're looking for, something to do every day, I think if you get up and down off the floor 10 times and do front plank, side plank, and back plank, and then you go for a walk, that might be a really great set of exercises to do. Taking one more breath here, coming down, coming back to that seated position. Feet are flexed, the pelvis rolls forward, arms are behind you, and you're going in and out. Good. Last plank that we're going to do is a reverse plank. So I think this is the hardest plank. Elbows are underneath your shoulders again, thumbs pointing up. So the version, so it's here, and then all you need to do is you lift your bum. So the higher you lift your bum, the harder it is. And then the most fun version is straight up from your heels. So lifting up and holding, and you're breathing. So again, the body is working. Don't let your head go back. You're looking down at your feet. You're holding and breathing. And thinking that you're so happy that you decided to do this class today. Taking one more breath here, coming down, and then just coming. So you're going to grab either your golf club or your dowel, something, and we're here. So I'm holding this straight ahead. I'm going to push forward, and as I put my arms or my hands towards you, my shoulder blades come apart. And then I'm going to squeeze my shoulder blades together and my arms come back. So shoulder blades go wide, shoulder blades come together. Shoulder blades go wide, shoulder blades come together. So we are working the shoulder blades on this and the rhomboids that sort of run in between the spine and the shoulder blades. So this is helping with rounded shoulders. So doing a couple more here. So we want the scapula to be able to move in this range of directions. So the problem with rounded shoulders is in our backswing, our arm needs to do this. So if you have rounded shoulders and you try to do this, this is where my hand goes. If my shoulders are nice and straight, as they should be, I can go back to here. So that is really the key on trying to get the start of your backswing going where it should be. So now we're going to do this V-set rotation. So you've got your golf club in one hand and you're slightly leaning back. And so then all we're doing here is rotating. So it's a little bit rotating here and then to the other side. So if this goes into low back, then you need to come up further. So the further you lean back, you need to make sure that that low back stays nice and straight, that it doesn't round. We're not doing this here. And it's a little bit of rotation here. Oh, my golf club's too long. As you're going back and forth. right, the option is to lift your feet, but as soon as I lift my feet, it goes into low back. That's not what we want. Do one more each way. Good, and then come back onto your back. So the last thing we're going to do is foot circles, points and flexes. So you're taking your hands and you're placing them behind your knee, or if that doesn't feel good for you, you can use a strap. You want your shoulders to remain even and as close to the floor as they get. This foot is parallel. We're going to take that foot and we're going to go in a circle one way. So just making sure that you're breathing as you turn this in a circle. So these are really important for stability, for our balance. So in the golf game, right, we have lots of things where where balance is challenged. We have to hit out of a sand trap. We are hitting out of uneven ground. And now change directions, go the other way. So this helps with that. So that along with the heel raises, right? Another great thing for stability in the ankles and the feet. And it also helps us walk. And now point and flex. So knowing that walking might be a thing this year if we ever get out to play. So if you're getting burning in that lower leg, that's perfect. And doing one more, and then coming down, switching over to the other leg. The straight leg, that foot tries to stay flexed, and you're taking this foot, you're going into circle one way. Making sure you're breathing. And then switching directions the other way. So at home you want to be doing this, or when you're doing this on your own, 30 circles each way, 20 point and flexes. And as you get better and better at this, then you would want to do 40 circles each way and 40 point and flexes. 40, 40, 40 never gets easy, just saying. And now point and flex. Doing a couple more here. Making your way down to final shavasana, and so we'll go back into static back for these last few minutes. Coming into a lying position with your feet up on your block or your chairs, making sure that your hips are bent at 90 degrees and your knees are bent at 90 degrees, and your feet have some space in between them so that your feet, your knees, and your hips are all in alignment. So just lying here, arms up to the side, palms facing up, to open up the shoulders and relax. And just starting to let everything settle and relax. So making sure your feet are relaxed and your legs are relaxed. Letting go of any tension in the thighs. Feeling your stomach relaxed. Allow your low back to feel settled, and allow it maybe to release towards the floor. Allowing your shoulders to relax down and away from your ears. Letting go of any tension in your jaw. Making sure that that tongue relaxes down from the roof of the mouth to let go of that tension. Your cheeks feel relaxed. All the tension around your eyes is gone. Your forehead feels smooth. Focus on your breath. Feeling your body expand as you breathe in and allow it to settle as you breathe out. So staying there, trying to focus on your breath. Noticing how your body feels on the floor, how flat it feels. And knowing that
Whether you are golfing or just living your life, alignment matters. And so alignment will help us keep us strong and healthy, and hopefully without any pain, and maybe even improve our golf game. Take one more breath here. Coming up to a seated position as you're ready. Placing your hands at heart center. Thank you for sharing your practice with me today. Namaste.